In this episode, we're going to talk about being in the miracle and coming back to a perspective where you have access to really witnessing where you are and being fully available to appreciate it. You ready? Let's do it. Hello, you are listening to the Love Your Life as a Performer podcast. I'm Kelly Youngman, and I am the life coach for performers. I help actors, singers, and dancers love themselves and their lives way more. So keep listening to learn how you can love your life both on and off the stage. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I am actually back in my, let's call it my bedroom office, because Terry has our seamstress here working on some pieces. And so, yeah, it's actually been fun to be working out of sort of like the bedroom space that I had initially when I moved from Harlem to Midtown. And it's actually feeling super nostalgic to have my window view back. And it's just like a slightly different setup. So anyways, I am so happy to be hopping on here for a quick podcast episode because truthfully, I have sticky notes on the edge of my desk for topics I've been wanting to record. And today, what I really wanted to invite everyone back to is the energy of being in the miracle, like living, breathing into the miracle of today. Now, I know with things that are happening in the world and, events and just lots of American news and honestly, world news that can feel really challenging and heavy at times. I totally honor that and hear that. And when we are in our day-to-day lives, we do have to give ourselves permission to access and plug into joy and to know that we still get to find the ways that we want to take action. We get to decide how we want to contribute energetically, financially to causes that matter to us, how we want to participate in standing up for change, and even still, the two things, world events or political happenings or whatever challenges may be coming up, even if they are on a more personal level, we still get to hold both challenge and joy. Both of those things are not mutually exclusive. They can coexist. And so today's episode is about really giving yourself permission to plug into the miracle. The other reason why I feel like this is so important and why it feels very relevant in my own life is that, as we are setting bigger and bigger goals, as we are really giving ourselves permission to engage with the fullest possible vision, sometimes we can be hyper fixated on just like how much more is left to go. It can sometimes unintentionally amplify the I'm not there yet energy, and like over there is going to be better than here. And this is part of being an ambitious creative, is knowing that the dreams are always going to get bigger. And our relationship to that dream is what's going to impact how we're feeling today, right? That relationship is going to either shade everything with enoughness or not enoughness, right? And really, that comes back to whether we're focusing on the absence of the thing that we want or the frequency of having it, right? And so even still, when we take that into account and we're like, okay, I know what it feels like to be in the experience of having, right? This is when, even if you're single, you understand what the frequency of love looks like for you. Like you've taken time, you're spending time, inviting in the energy of a relationship that you love, that you would love. Maybe that's sitting down to really think about how it's going to feel when you get into bed with your partner and after a really long day, even if it sucks, you get to just nestle into their chest, right? Like being so specific about the feeling of that. And I know because even before I met my husband, I was doing these meditations. I was feeling into what would I love to experience in my grandest vision of love? But it's not, oh my gosh, that's going to be so nice one day, someday, right? No, we're really plugging into the experience of having it. And if your goal is something performing wise, we're not like making jokes about, oh, being an unemployed, unpaid actor is really fun, right? We're not like focusing on the absence of what we want because that's not going to align us to being in the miracle of our life. We want to be imagining and spending time with the vision where we're taking that bow on stage, or we get to go to our first opening night premiere, or we're imagining shopping for the perfect outfit and getting to hire someone to do your photography. I don't know, whatever it is for you, right? But we want to be using that for us, not against us. And so again, we want to check in on like, as we're moving to these bigger vision things, are we in the absence or the presence of that desire? Because when we're in the presence of the desire, one, you'll know because it feels really good. And two, it'll give you energy. It'll light you up. It'll fuel you rather than, making you feel like there's so much work and there's so much more to go. Another example is like, imagine you're working on improving your health in some way and you're really wanting to feel strong and healthy and active. It can be so easy to say, ugh, I hate how I look. My clothes don't fit. I feel terrible. And I'm not going to be happy until I'm over there with my dream bod and the size that I want to be. And I can't feel beautiful and pretty until then. Like, no. Again, notice if that's happening for you and just clock it. We don't have to judge ourselves, but we can be aware of where we're in the absence versus the presence. Because when we do start thinking and feeling and aligning with the things that we want, again, that's what gives us access to being in the miracle even before it gets here. Even before world peace is achieved, we can be adding energy to the image and the presence and contributing to people of all backgrounds, ethnicities, religions, like getting along and living harmoniously, right? And we start doing that not one day when the world gets better. We start doing that in our everyday life as we are being an agent of that change today, right? We're going to be acting as if, living as if it's already here, which is what collapses time and allows us to really see that we can be the change we want to see in the world. Not often in a distant future, but today, like really, truly today. And so that's how we get to really be in the miracle. We get to see that being alive in these human bodies, having this human experience, being a soul, getting to have a body to even explore and experience what life has to offer, that is a miracle in itself. And the fact that we have cognitive abilities, that we can think about things, that we can make changes, that we can really decide who we want to be in the world. We get to indulge in our preferences. There's nothing that we have to tolerate that, we don't have to. Like we actually do have choice. All of that is the miracle, right? One of the ways I love to plug back into this is like, I think there's cycles to growth. There's like, you decide you want to change something or you decide you have a big goal and then you feel pumped, you feel excited, you start working on that goal. You immediately get into parts of the messy middle where there's some cognitive dissonance between who you are and who you want to become. There's the moments where you have to like actively interject and make new choices. And I don't know, the same way if you're trying to eat less sugar and you feel the urge to have a late night cookie, you might have to say, oh, I'm feeling this urge to have a cookie. And even though I feel it, I'm going to say no for now because I'm really connected to being at my dream weight or to breaking this pattern of addiction to sugar, whatever that is for you, right? We have to be more committed to the outcome than the in the moment struggle or the in the moment discomfort of making a new choice. And then we achieve the thing. And then we kind of have, maybe I'd call it like post goal slump, or maybe like for my performers, it's like after a contract ends or after a big milestone. Like I felt this a little bit after my wedding. It's like everything was like ramping up to this moment and then the moment happened. And it was like there was a little bit of a come down, right? In those moments, it's really easy to get lost and to sort of get frustrated or discouraged as you start setting new goals and then you get ready to go through the process of change again, or the process of expansion, right? Of constant evolution. And so then we're like, oh boy, here we go. Like we forget that we're in the miracle that we once prayed for. And if praying is not your thing, we lose sight of the fact that we're literally in the midst of the miracle that we once were working towards, right? And so maybe that looks like, again, like we have this longing for love and we finally find it and all of it leads to this big moment of union. And then it's like, womp, we're just living together and this is life. And we don't let ourselves engage with the sparkliest, most appreciative, most generous perspective of the moment. Because again, that's coming from our thoughts. And it's like giving everything that spark of color. I don't know why this analogy is coming up, but I'm going to say it. It's almost like, you're doing your laundry and everything looks a little dull. And then this is not an ad, but like imagine you use like, I don't know, OxyClean, or they have amazing commercials and marketing, right? So it's like, oh, look, this color boost, whatever, makes it so vibrant again. And that's what we're really doing when we're giving ourselves permission to live in the miracle. To be in the miracle is to say, wow, like who I am right now is someone I'm really proud of. And if I can't access that pride, I can at least see that the version of me 10 years ago would have never dreamed that I'd be where I am today, right? Or maybe it's like, maybe you've had a business. And again, I relate to all of these things because when we're in that trajectory of setting new goals and getting into the messy middle and then finally achieving it and celebrating, and then it sort of dies down as we're setting the new goals, it can feel like we just slip into like this energy of like, well, still not there. This isn't that great, right? And I'll even call myself out because I remember in the beginning of my business, right? Like signing my first client, it's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe I get to do this. I can't believe that I get to help people change their lives and that this is something that is an actual profession, right? Like being someone who gets to be in my client's corner and support them and teach them how to feel and the ripple effects of that. Like it is so freaking cool and such a miracle. And in the mundane activities of sales goals or whatever objectives we decide to set for ourselves, right? Moving from 5K months to 10K months, or making the jump to 20K months, or going from 20K months to 100K months, right? We forget that the fact that we're running a business, the fact that we get to not only make money doing something we love, but that it positively impacts the world, like we forget to really appreciate that. And even if some of these things haven't happened for you yet, again, that's the point, right? What can you currently appreciate about your life that is an actual miracle? And it might be as simple as right now I have my health, and there are people all over the world that don't, right? And not to like, I don't know. I don't want to give it this energy of like, you should be grateful, because we also want to hold space for that. It's okay to set new desires. It's okay to want more. It's okay to desire, and for those desires to keep changing. We're not on this human planet to stagnate and to just get by. We're here to evolve and to transform and to transcend, right? So this isn't about saying you should be grateful and sort of like second layer guilt or shaming yourself into feeling happier than you are, but it is about finding places that you can witness the miracle, giving yourself time to witness the miracle. Even if that's like, holy crap, I happen to be alive at a time where we all have smartphones and internet, and we can walk around feeling generally safe because we have maps on our phones, right? Like, I want you to really consider, and again, like, just find the ways where you can plug back into the miracle of being alive, the miracle of being able to see or hear or smell or taste or touch, the miracle of having free will to use your time as you desire, right? To surround yourself with people that you really love and admire and respect. Like, all of those things are actually miraculous. And of course, there's always going to be, like I said, that next level desire, that next level identity that we're going to grow through. And when you do pause and acknowledge and plug into the miracle first, plug into the miracle of being supported, of knowing that there's higher intelligence literally working with us, for us all of the time, that we're not alone in this, right? We get to access that feeling of not only being in the miracle, but being the miracle. Who you are right now matters. Your voice matters. Your passions matter. Your desires matter. The things you're inherently driven to do and accomplish and achieve, you have those dreams and visions because they can make a positive impact on the world, because it ripples out and it changes the fabric of the universe. Literally, when you're lit up and inspired and plugged into that frequency and that energy that's super regenerative. Because we're not trying to like burn out or feel like we can't slow down or can't rest. And we want to be able to like stop and appreciate the view. It's like if you did want to be on Broadway and you've worked super hard and trained your entire life and spent a lot of time also in your mind improving your mindset and building your emotional agility and supporting yourself and getting familiar with what you're feeling and the accuracy of how you want to respond and how you want to show up for any circumstance, right? If you go into that contract being in the miracle and really appreciating like, oh my gosh, I'm here, I'm available to enjoy this, that's a very different experience than if you got into your first Broadway company and you were like, this is good, but I'm only a temporary replacement. And really what I want to do is I want to be a permanent cast member. Or really what I want to do is I want to be original Broadway cast. And really what I want to be is not only original Broadway company, but a principal role. And I want to be a Tony Award winner. And like, yeah, I guess being a temporary replacement for my Broadway debut is like kind of cool, but yeah, I'm not there yet. Right? Like, and I'm saying this from lived experience because that was my experience. I started as a temporary replacement and my brain could have gone there And my brain wanted to go there of like, this is so awkward. I'm making my Broadway debut, but it's only going to be for like 2 weeks. Like, ew. And instead, I really directed my brain, which again, not good, bad, right, or wrong, totally normal thought to have. And I remember consciously interrupting that train of thought to be available to the miracle, to be in the miracle, to have the capacity to even witness what a miracle my life was and what I created. Okay? So that's what I got for you this week. Plug into the miracle. Be in the miracle of today. Show your brain, look for it. And when you look for it, you'll find it way more of the time. All right. I love you all. I'll meet you back here for another episode. Bye. Hey, I want to invite you to get started because if this is blowing your mind, imagine the impact of when we actually work together. You get to love your life as an actor, singer, or dancer, even including auditions. And if that sounds amazing, come join us inside of Momentum. You get lifetime access to the Performers Plan, coaching, community, and more, and I will be supporting you the entire way. Go to kellyyoungmanwellness.com/momentum to join us now.